This tale is, as all bard songs are, an adaptation. It may contain adult themes and strong language. Welcome, dear listeners, to Abyss.
Welcome to episode 14 of Abyss. Who are you? What are you? And to celebrate National Gingerbread Day, what is the biggest thing you could make out of gingerbread? Starting with Shiraz.
Hello, I'm Shiraz, and I play the Dragonborn rogue Ishidoro, who likes to eat things and do science. I can't bake, so I'd have to convince someone to bake it for me. I'm not a big fan of gingerbread. You can all murder me later for saying that, but I really never got used to the taste of it. I suppose if I had to threaten someone to make something for me, it'd be like a giant gingerbread, and would be a pirate with a sword and a parrot. But yes, that's me. I would definitely threaten someone to make me a giant gingerbread.
Giant gingerbread pirate.
Yep.
Okay. Wednesday?
Hi, I am Wednesday and I actually play Layla the Tiefling, and I can't bake either, almost at all. So I would actually just ask my cousin to make a gingerbread house like she usually does, actually, at Christmas, strangely enough. And yeah, the only reason I would want that is because every tiny space of that thing has a sweet on it, because I also don't like gingerbread, but I will totally eat all the sweets of it and make the icing off too.
Fair enough. Tauno?
Hello, I'm Tauno, and I am playing Rasthikos, the human warrior who wants to be professional, or as professional as you can be in the Underdark. I mean, I've baked cookies before, but gingerbread isn't really something you do in Denmark. So I would say the biggest holiday cookie I've made was a big old thing of, we call it a vanilla pretzel, I think would be the most fitting translation.
Mm-hmm.
A big old thing of that. And I could now, with, more years of experience baking behind me, not that I bake an even bigger pretzel out of a vanilla dough.
Fair enough.
Sounds tasty, man.
It really is.
Dragon?
Hello, I am Dragon. I am playing Nitra, a Drow who now has magic and can't control it at all. Biggest thing I'd build from gingerbread. It would have to be the bread kind of gingerbread rather than the gingerbread biscuits.
Mm-hmm.
But I still think that with some really dense slabs of that, I could probably build something relatively big.
Such as?
I'm just trying to think, because it would definitely not have the same structural integrity. So I'd probably make a model of something. I'd make a model of a dragon as big as I could.
Of course.
And then eat it.
Yes, cool. That would be amazing.
Cool.
And finally, Susie.
Hi, I'm Susie Q. I play 13, who's a goblin minion who has very poor impulse control and an inability to think of consequences. And I would build out of gingerbread the sort of traditional gingerbread house that the witch lives in, and I would live in it and cook some children in the oven. Because if you're going to build something big out of gingerbread,
Yeah, you gotta commit.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what I would do.
Living up to those stereotypes.
Yeah. Failing that, I would just get really high and eat it all.
Fair enough.
It'd be really hard to like live in a gingerbread house and not just randomly go and munch on a wall or something when you're hungry. So
Yeah.
punch a hole and then just...
I would be more worried about what would happen if it rained, but I don't know. I suppose if you put on a really thick, like hard icing, maybe with like a really
like a
Like what, hard
toxic
caramel
glaze.
for? Yeah, hard caramel.
Yeah, that's true.
Hard, thick caramel
You'd have
walls.
so many insects, though. Can you imagine how many
Yeah.
ants would get it?
Oh, of course. It
But
sounds like the worst idea more that you talk about.
Yeah.
In the beginning, I was like on board, but like now I'm just like, no ants.
Yeah, like no wonder that witch was so cranky. I'd be cranky too if I had to live in a gingerbread house.
You had ants in your gingerbread house.
Yeah, exactly.
She was
It'd
a
be like,
witch. You could have got rid of the ants.
yeah, we are not accounting for use of magic. I suppose if you were a witch, you could make a gingerbread house free of ants in the middle of the woods. And there's all sorts of animals that might come along and just eat your foundation.
Yeah.
Yep. So, after all that, what happened last week?
Oh, all the things. So, we were at Graven Hollow. We were able to go through this fantastic library. This plane that we're in was created by a Drow for Lolth, and then the giants give us payment, and we're like, oh crap, we can't carry any of that because it's all stone. 13 and Ishidoro decide to try and play around with the slave collars and knock themselves out. Once 13 is revived, she then runs around stabbing people with the spikes from the slave collars. And
Just to see what
eventually knocks herself
happens.
out again.
Science.
It was science, but
Exactly.
13 eventually got herself knocked out again. Then the giants have a meeting and they do lots of talking, and there's something about a basilisk that is kind, so it won't look at people, so it doesn't turn them into stone. And apparently we are beneficial new blood, but the giant that deals with the future is like, we are not the ones that will be dealing with the Drow City, and should we kill all the demons before we open the portal? And apparently the giants can open a portal to the rest of the world, but the veiled figure visiting is very much like, nope, we need to open the portal to get reinforcements, because obviously we're going to be able to find suitable reinforcements. So we go and talk to Vizerin in his tower, and it's fucking bizarre. So he's got a tower with a tube that runs around the outside that looks kind of like a helter-skelter wrapped around a tower. He's got a goblin servant that answers, who's really, really sweet, and asks if we're there to kill their master, and we say no, so he deactivates all the traps. And then he and 13 got on really well. We speak to Vizerin, and to open the portal, there's a whole bunch of things that we need to gather. So 6 angel feathers, an unhatched red worm egg, 13 masks, and a bucket of null blood, which apparently we can find almost all of those in the labyrinth. Look at the labyrinth. The labyrinth looks really fucking grim and sounds grim, and there's a demon fighting something in there. There were giant beasts. It was basically a Drow torture labyrinth thing, but it was Vizerin that actually made the plane, and then this other Drow stole all of the credit, maybe, if he's telling the truth and isn't just insane. He was kind of insane either way, whether it's true or not. So he's like, right, you need to go do these things, and then I will open the portal for you, and tells us that we can get into the maze. We have to follow the directions of left, right, then left, and then repeat that pattern. And there are spikes and pit traps, kneecappers. Goodness only knows if there's small demons in there as well as the big ones. So we're like, right, we shall go to the labyrinth. But I don't understand how the giants were talking about opening the portal, if apparently it's only Vizerin that can do it.
I think the giants were like using Wizarding to open the portal. They didn't open it themselves. Like he's the one who can. That's why he was there. Or not. He could just be crazy.
So, the story will continue. So, you said you were going back to Gravenhall, didn't you?
Are we not going into the labyrinth?
Yeah,
Where we
we're on our
going
way to
to?
the labyrinth.
We have all our stuff on us, like the bags of holding and everything.
Okay. You want to just go straight to the labyrinth? That's fine.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll do that.
You descend towards this sort of slope that leads down into the mouth of this labyrinth. It's, as you can imagine, a sort of massive, like very stone-heavy labyrinth. And as you look ahead of you, you see cart tracks, you see sort of scratch marks on the walls, like there's tons of struggle, basically. And you notice as you come to the first T-junction of what direction to go, you notice several frantic, like, chalk marks on the wall with arrows pointing different directions. What do you do?
13 would like to find a piece of wood that she could make some sort of stake out of, or some sort of rock that she can put into the ground and get out her string and tie a knot round it, start unraveling it, and stand expectantly looking at everybody, waiting for them to make a decision, because, you know, her job's to hold the string. So, yeah.
Okay.
These arrows, like, can we tell roughly what direction they're coming?
You notice that there are arrows drawn of different style, pointing left and pointing right. They seem to be in a sort of cross-section of the wall in front of you. It's like hundreds of people seem to have marked which direction they went.
Okay. But we know how to get through. We know it's left, and not
right,
another
left.
right. Yeah.
Question, see the marks and stuff on the walls?
Mm-hmm.
Is there any marks? Because we've just come down a straight line in, haven't we?
Mm-hmm.
And this labyrinth goes, it's one way out, we're heading to the centre, yeah.
You're heading to the other side of the labyrinth to get to the Worm Mouthings.
So it's like a labyrinth through.
Yeah.
Is there any sort of marks that would indicate that somebody had come back? Like, because presumably, if, you've gone all the way around and you've gone one side and then come all the way back, you'd maybe put another...
You look at the other side of the wall, like the one not facing us in. If you'd like walk and then turn fully, both the one direction and the other, you notice to the left there are a couple of arrows gesturing towards you. And when you turn to the right, there's a couple of large, like, cross marks.
Could I do a dungeoneering to see if I can work out, if it gives me any sensible ideas of working out which trap it is and how do we, to see what the trap is and how it will trigger if we turn left.
Okay. From what you can understand, to the right, you notice from the sort of blood spray, it seems to be some sort of spike trap, but to the left, it doesn't seem to be any trap at all.
Well, left is the direction we are meant to go in. I am just skeptical of it being that easy.
No, we keep an eye out. How wide are the corridors?
They're wide
do
enough
we
you
have
could have
to
got a
walk
cart
in?
through.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Cool.
Okay. I mean, the cart is all the way back in the Giants City. Okay. I start to move forward, and I have the stick with the crystal on top that I have stabbed myself so many times. I'm holding it out, like, in this, and I'm just roughly kind of tapping the ground as I go.
Okay.
So, how long is the stick? Like, I forget.
I think your sort of shock stick is about 1 meter long, if I remember.
I'm going to hold it, like, almost at the other end, so, like, maximum distance possible.
Okay.
That's what I'll do, because I don't know dungeoneering very well, so I'll ask someone to, like, kind of keep an eye out for any signs of traps.
13 has a way to find traps.
I think 13 should be in charge of traps, and I'll use dungeoneering to see if there's any other clues that we should be aware of.
Want to put 13 in charge of traps?
Yeah, you know how they
13
work.
is in charge of not setting off the traps.
See, that's a bit harder.
It is.
I
But
can
you are
easily
very-
find all the traps.
But you
Yeah.
are very good at finding traps. I'm sure you can do it.
Okay. And she sort of runs up to Ishidoro and, like, just goes in front of him and is, like, really carefully taking one step, then two steps. It's like,
I'm going at the pace where if something happens, I can grab like 13 and chuck her over the shoulder.
Okay.
I will go near the back to keep an eye out and make sure nothing comes up behind us.
Okay.
Do we have Stool with us?
Yep, you have Stool and Gazrum with you?
Yes.
Okay, good. Because we need a light source for Rasthikos.
Yes.
Okay. So you make your way along the left passage. Again, it lasts about maybe another 5 meters, 10 meters, and then it has another T-junction. You notice this time to the left there seems to be some sort of acrid smoke sort of drifting up from around the edge of it. And again in front of you is this wall covered in chalk signs.
Are the signs recognizable to us? Can we read them?
They just seem to be like arrows drawn left or right. Again with varying degrees of script and style.
We should turn right here, according to Vizerin.
Well, we were fine turning left earlier, so I think it is a good idea to at least trust him with this. He built the labyrinth, didn't he?
Yes. He did.
Let's just follow the first 3 turns and then we'll kind of see how. I mean, I'm sure with 13 looking for traps and trees looking around for signs, with our eyes open, we can avoid the worst of it. I'm more worried about the monsters that are in here.
Yes, they are concerning.
Okay.
I mean, if we know where the traps are, we can probably lead them into the traps and save ourselves some trouble.
Oh, they'll have a weakness. The monsters always have a weak. No point putting the monsters in a labyrinth unless they've got a weakness.
From what I know of 13, she is probably super trustworthy at this point, so I'm just gonna go with whatever she says. Even if it means I lose a finger.
13 has not lost the finger.
Oh my god,
Attached
he has to bring
anymore.
up that finger all the time.
Temporarily detached.
It's got it in a pocket. It's alright. She knows someone will be able to stick it back on. It's all good. Someone called Igor.
Gosh.
You have it tucked behind your ear?
No, it's in a pocket because it could just fall out from behind your
She
ear.
tried keeping
Silly.
it in her ear, but it didn't work staying.
It didn't
Yeah,
work.
it just kept falling out.
So you head along the right passage. It goes for about 3 meters, and then once again you're at a T-junction, and you notice that the number of arrows are distinctly less than they've been for the last 2.
Oh, so what happened in between?
I think people didn't make it this far.
Or they went the other way.
Yes. I'm going to do another dungeoneering check because I am incredibly suspicious. So I will examine the walls of the labyrinth to see if I can see any other signs of something that happened to people that turned right at the last junction.
Okay. Are you going the other direction to see, or are you just looking?
I am looking.
Alright, you don't see much, though you do see a sort of, as I said, sort of acrid smoke rising from somewhere to the left.
This is probably some sort of poison that got them. Or a pit. Or I suppose that could be a monster breathing. Let us move on, I think.
Could I roll demonology to detect because we did see demons fighting in here. Could I detect the rough direction and distance if I roll?
Nah, give it a go. No. You
I'm
can
too
detect
busy
that there's-
keeping the stick from me.
You can detect that there's, been demons around recently, but you can't detect any more than that.
I'm just trying not to shock myself again.
So, what way are you going?
Left.
Okay.
Yeah.
You immediately turn left, and in front of you seems to be the splintered remains of a caravan. It looks like it's been hacked to pieces by something, but it's kind of out the way and only blocking half the tunnel. There are bloodstains leading from the caravan.
Are they somebody bleeding walking away? Or someone dragging off a bleeding
Someone
body?
dragging something off. They seem to have dragged it to the next corner and dragged it to the right.
Demonology time, I think.
Okay. Nope.
No.
It can't be demons. Demons would eat them on the spot.
That's
With your-
true.
with your
Demons
natural
do
one.
not have much impulse control. They would just
So you're
stay
saying
and
that-
eat all of the things.
This goes off to the right.
Mm-hmm.
I look at everybody and I say, so it's a left then.
Yes,
Um,
definitely.
Can I search the caravan?
Yep. Okay. You find a small pair of dwarven gloves.
Like, that's all that remains of whoever was in here.
That's all that remains of what you can find, yeah. It's been properly ransacked, and you notice that several of the bigger lumps of what must have been caravan seem to have been dragged off as well.
That's unusual.
They just look like little, like, workman's gloves kind of thing. They're nothing special, but
They look like, sort of workman's gloves, yeah.
I give them to Gazra.
Oh, lovely. A pair of gloves.
Off to the left. And
Okay.
I follow 13.
Okay, you turn to the left. Immediately, as soon as you sort of walk into the left passage, you can smell the scent of, like, burning corpses coming from behind you.
I'm surprised there is still much scent.
Must have been recent. But this proves one thing, that, like, the wizard wasn't lying. We've been safe. We've made some directions into it. Seems to
Yes,
check
this
out.
is true. But that cart was attacked before they turned.
So we stay safe, I guess.
Yes. Paranoia is generally sensible.
Although I have to imagine, if someone dragged something to the right, weren't they affected by any trap? Or do the traps only work on humanoids as opposed to demons? I guess questions best left unanswered. I look at 13 and nod.
She grins. Well, we should probably head opposite direction of the bloodstain.
Yes.
But, because it went that way. We're going the other way.
Yes. So we have turned left, which is away from the blood and the scent of scorched flesh. So our next turn should be a right.
As you approach the next turn, which is in about 3 meters' time, you notice there were 3 arrows made out of blood that seem to be coming from the left side towards the right.
Oh dear.
Arrows made of blood.
As in, someone is drawn on the wall in blood.
Oh, okay.
Would we have to cross the junction to see, like, how fresh the blood is? Like,
No,
to
you
touch
can, the wall was just there, you can look at it if you want.
it? What would I have to roll to detect how fresh this is?
It would be nature.
I don't think I have nature. Anyone good at that?
13 can look.
13, why don't you give it a shot? Like, how long ago do you think these marks were made?
13's gonna go up to the arrow and, like, if she can't reach it, she's gonna, like, jump up until somebody picks her up so she can. And then she's gonna lick it.
Okay.
I will do so, and I will smile as she licks it because I am proud. I have taught my way.
Okay.
6.
13 licks it, and all she can go
Blood.
is... cow blood.
Ew.
Licks the wall again.
So
I
13
pull her
begins to
away
lick
from the
the
wall.
arrow off the wall.
I pull her away from the wall before she gets, like, I don't know, an infection or something.
She's still got her string. She's been panning out her string this whole time.
How much string do you have?
Lots of string. There's 2 big balls of string, so in my mind, that's like lots.
Yeah, for 13, something to be big would be normal size for us.
Okay.
Well, she keeps panning out. Just assume she's panning out her string until she runs out.
So which direction are you going to go?
We just took a left, right? So there should be another left.
No. We have
No.
taken 2 lefts.
Oh, then it should be
We
a
should
right.
be taking the right turn this time.
Good. I think we should keep a note of that in real life as well.
Okay. So you turn to the right, following the arrows. In front of you on the floor, it looks like the body of what looks like a gnoll that has been brutally executed. The head is lying several feet from the body. Blood covers one of the walls, and you notice on the wall behind a gigantic arrow pointing right, written in blood.
Wait, we need null blood. Do we have anything to collect the blood in?
I mean, we have the bags of holding. Technically,
True.
we could just pour the blood in there.
Yes.
The question
we need
is, does the gnoll have enough blood to spare?
Yeah, how fresh is this gnoll corpse?
It looks about at least 2 or 3 days old.
13, do you know anything about medicine or, null anatomy.
Well, maybe if we like cut the big chunky bits and then like mush them up, we'll get some blood. That might work.
Well,
But I have this bottle of beetles. Put blood in there.
We could, but then you would lose your beetles.
Oh no,
Also,
the
like-
beetles could eat them. And then we mush up the beetles and use the beetle null blood. What do we need null blood for?
It's to open the portal to get out of here.
also, I think he said a bucket of it, not like a bottle.
He did
Oh, then
say
we-
a bucket, so it might need to be more a bag of holding amount.
Well, could we not put the null in the bag of holding,
The whole
And
thing,
then-
yeah, sure.
empty him out, and then smush him? And he'd probably make a bucket of blood. I mean, there'd be bits of bone and stuff. I mean, how fussy is this portal? I mean, do we need a sieve?
I mean, the thing with a bag of holding is it can only open so wide. There might be
We'd have-
enough space within it, but how? I mean, yeah, you could fit 13, but I think a knoll is quite a bit larger than you.
I think what
Chop 'em
13 is. Yeah, I think she's implying we cut him up into little bits and pieces. I'm looking at Layla to see if she's like almost ready to puke at it.
I'm always ready
Like
to puke.
just like
For Layla.
one
That's a
heave
secret.
away from like.
That's my secret,
gosh.
Ishidoro. I'm always ready to puke.
Well, considering the fact that does anyone else have a sword or a cutting implement? Because
I have.
Rasthikos has a hammer. Oh, okay.
I have a bone saw.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
yeah,
Oh,
we did.
you.
We did get a
What
bone
a-
saw.
What a
You-
surprising development.
You might want to look away if you are squeamish.
Yeah, so see if you go in for like the joints, and you can like saw and then pull them out.
I'm holding the bag of
excellent.
holding that doesn't have money in it. The money bag is like separate. I'm holding
Can I
the
check
other
his
bag of
pockets
holding.
first?
Is that the bag of holding that has the portrait in it?
Yes.
Yes, that's fine.
Yeah.
You can have
I mean,
null parts.
yeah, I don't want the money getting dirty. I don't want any blood money.
Indeed.
Oh wow, really?
What? Do I have to show you like a null part to make you puke? I will hold it up to your face.
Oh god. Okay, Layla turns away and tries really hard to suppress the vomit.
13 goes over and pats Layla on the shoulder and starts telling her the story. It's basically Red Riding Hood, but she's like getting the names and stuff wrong in an effort to try and distract her, because she's not very much use when it comes to chopping up bodies, but she can distract poor Layla. And then, in her picnic basket, there was cheese.
So
Oh,
Tris
God.
is efficiently jointing the null into separate body parts to put into the bag of holding.
Is it still like gushing blood when she cuts?
It's sort of oozing very softly.
Oh god, softly oozing as well.
I will stand up and
Aye, what big teeth you've got.
I would very much like to hear the story written down.
I look at Stool and check how they are doing.
Like while you're like bone sawing this like
Oh gosh.
Still is
Face-
sort of wandering around looking at the labyrinth, just quite distracted.
That is fine.
we've
That's
got
good.
him well.
And hopefully the were rat is not trying to eat the body.
The were-rat is gently gnawing at one of some of the bits that you've dropped, between
Think you can
scooping
have
the
a
bits
toe.
into the bag of holding.
Fair.
I think the
Just-
where I can have a toe or something.
Yes. I'm sure we can spare it all.
Yep,
This
so-
is all like cheerful bonding time between the parties.
So can we now gloss over to the knoll has
Yes,
been
we
put in?
will skip ahead slightly to when the knoll has been fully cut up and inserted into the bag of holding. You notice when you cut him up that he was wearing some armour of quite sort of patchwork style, and that the wound that sort of severed his head from his shoulder seemed to be a single cleaving shot rather than like hacking.
Oh. Can we tell anything about what sort of sharp object did that? Was it a
Yeah.
blade? Was it a
That
claw?
would be a heavy bladed weapon.
That would require power to wield. There's definitely something
And gnolls are
With-
about like what, 7 feet tall.
Yes, this was something big and with good weapons.
Is the head still around, or is the head?
Yep, the
missing?
head is just lying nearby. The eyes are rolled back in the head. Are you wanting the head in the bag as well?
Not particularly. I think we have enough mass to go about. I think more I'm curious about like is inspecting the head and seeing like if the wound, like the spine has been like smashed through or
It just
sliced.
seems to have cut clearly through one of the vertebrae.
Okay, so it's like a clean cut. So this is a really sharp weapon.
Yep.
Like super sharp. Okay, make a note and keep the head in like somewhere out of the way.
So you're
I
keeping
believe
the head.
it's no. I'm just like putting it aside in the corridor somewhere. Like
Okay.
not where I found it. I believe we have to take a left again if the wizard's instructions are to be followed.
Okay. So you're taking a left?
I'm asking the group.
It should be left this time, yes.
Okay.
Reese is busy writing things on her arm for the directions we're taking.
So is Treese covered in null blood at the moment?
Yes, probably.
Okay. You turn left, and as soon as you turn left, you notice 2 or 3 gnolls standing around what looks like a very makeshift hut with a table outside with some items lying on top of it. As you approach,
Hello.
they sort of tilt their head towards you and then sort of move forward and gesture in a sort of very pantomime fashion at the table. Then they
Looks like they're trying to sell something.
look at Treese quite confused and sniff at her, not sure what to make of her.
I will stand as far away from them as possible. Do I have Stool back with me, or is he with someone else just
No,
now?
Stool's there.
Okay.
So on the table seems to be several piles of mushrooms, some chewed rope, several different colours of chalk, like rags, some torches, some minotaur skulls, and what looks like rugs made of minotaur hide. And they sort of tap on the table as in like pointing at each of them, and then try and one of them you notice is trying to hold up like fingers to you how much things are, but he seems to be missing 2 of his fingers in a really awkward place, so he can only go up to 3.
Awesome. 13's going to run forward with her like 35 gold coins and give him 3 playing cards that she has for the bits of chalk.
Let's see what he does. Does he take the playing cards off you? He looks at them and quite confused and seems to tilt his head and he's not sure what these are. But by the time he's confused and looked up, you've taken at least one of the pieces of chalk, and he looks very confused, and the other gnoll is looking at him and saying, like, why did you take that deal?
Aw. Did they look mad at each other?
No, he just looks confused.
How big is the
I-
Minotaur skull? Like, is it fit to be a helmet?
You
Or-
could probably wear it as a helmet if you wanted. It's pretty massive.
Like, not for me, but like for Rasthikos more than anything else.
Definitely, then yes.
I will like kind of turn around and fish like 3 gold out of the bag without them looking. And I will turn around and I will place 3 gold on the table and take the Minotaur skull. Like I will literally just do them at the same turn.
Let's see what he does. Yeah, he just accepts it. He just kind
I
of
hand-
nods and grabs the gold coins and shovels them into his pocket.
I hand it over to Rasthikos
You know,
and I say like,
you notice one of the other ones going behind a sort of side wall, it seems, and pulling out another Minotaur skull and sitting it down.
well, I guess it's not as unique as I imagined, but a helmet is a helmet. And I hand the skull over to Rasthikos.
Okay.
I guess I take it by the horns. Is there still a lower jaw on this skull?
There is, yes. This is not attached by anything, it's just sort of slotted in.
Right. I thank you, Ishidoro. What was your intent with
Well-
this? Is
If you're gonna be fighting and something aims for your soft head, then, you know, you go down. Me, I've got scales and stuff to protect.
Are you saying we're squishy?
Now, if you want to keep saying that, you're welcome to, but that wasn't my intent. I'm just looking out for everybody. And I smile like big dragon smile. Unnerving. I try and communicate with them and I point to like the 3 of them with 3 of my fingers and then I point to the ground and then I kind of say, I kind of make a what gesture, like kind of, how did you get here? So
Let's see how they react. The sort of one that wasn't sort of serving you sort of taps on the table, points at the mushrooms, points at you and goes, as in sort of like gestures as in, do you want mushrooms?
I shake my head and I repeat the same thing.
We
Do
do
we
need
want the
mushrooms. We need them.
He looks at you quite confused that you don't want mushrooms.
Okay, and I hold up a finger to them and I turn around and it's like, are these the same mushrooms we need?
I don't know, but
Like, doesn't Gazrim know the kind of mushrooms we need?
Well, if I remember right, we're looking for Timasks.
Yeah.
yes.
Are those Timas?
Let me have a look at that. He walks over,
Right.
and he picks one up and sniffs it, and he goes, oh, bloody hell, definitely one of them, yeah.
Okay. Then we'll take. Then I guess we'll take them. I take out 3 more gold, and how much do they push towards? Or do I just?
They
I just
push-
grab a handful,
They push 1 mushroom towards you for 3 gold.
and I kind of take the gold off the table. And I kind of make a size with my hand, about a foot. And I kind of go that much.
The gnoll looks at you blankly, and then the other gnoll holds up 5 in his hand and pushes 2 mushrooms into the middle of the table.
How many do we need again?
We need them to lure demons.
So we need all of them.
Need lots.
I don't know. I have a horrible suspicion that if we stay here long enough, we will find lots of demons.
So
I
should we
think-
take all of them for a good sizable amount of money?
I think offer them 10 gold and see how much we get for that.
I hold out 10 gold in both my hands and I circle all the mushrooms at it.
Let's see what the gnoll does. He pushes 10 mushrooms into the middle of the table, and he looks very greedily at the 10 gold you have in your hand.
I put 2 more gold on top of it and I still circle the rest of it.
He pushes another 2 mushrooms into the middle and sort of gestures in your kind of how many do you want kind of thing.
I keep circling the whole thing.
How many mushrooms has he offered us now?
He's offered you 12 at the moment.
And that's how much out of the pile?
There's about 30 in the pile.
Okay, so I just basically go I hold my hand over all the mushrooms and I go all of this.
He looks and goes, he seems to be perplexed for a second and then turns to the other gnoll and you hear a sort of yipping sound, and then he turns back to you and he sort of flashes his hand up and closes it and keeps flashing it up until he gets to 35.
Okay, I mean, we're kind of rich and I don't know what they're going to do with all this money.
This is true. I think we have
I'm-
enough to cover. We've more than enough to cover it.
Yeah,
If we don't manage to open a portal, it doesn't matter how much gold we have. We're still stuck here.
I fish out 35 gold and I kind of start stacking them 5 high in front of him.
The gnoll grabs the gold and just pushes the pile of mushrooms towards you. And you notice the 2
Okay,
gnolls begin to look like they're packing up as if they're about to head off.
It's really odd, but I didn't expect to find a shop here.
Well, I suppose they have to make a living somehow.
It's a pretty
And it's-
dangerous living.
Well, if you know a labyrinth, it might be safer than being caught by Drow outside.
Should we follow them? Because if they know a way out,
I think it's probably worth watching to see where they go.
are we putting the mushrooms in the bag of cut up, what parts? I don't want to say the word.
I think it. No, I don't think so. Should it not go in the other one?
Okay, we'll put it in the other one. I put all the mushrooms in the gold bag.
Yes.
Okay. So you push all these mushrooms into this bag and you notice the gnolls packing up and they seem to be hurriedly heading off. And they first of all seem to turn to the left. Are you going to follow them?
Yeah,
Okay. And they just run
because I
along.
think we're going that way as well.
Yes,
They-
that is the correct direction for
They
us.
run quite fast along, as if not trying to lose you, but as if they don't really care if you follow or not. Then they turn right, and as you notice on the wall, it says "Death awaits" and an arrow pointing right.
They turn towards the arrow?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
We don't want to turn right. This should be.
Yeah.
This should be a left.
Yes, you're right. Should I kind of like peek around the corner to the right after they turn towards it? Does anything happen to them?
Nope. They seem to just reach the end and then turn left again.
Well, the good news is they didn't die.
Yes, that is always good.
Okay, I think we should check for traps.
Yes, some dungeoneering and traps would be useful.
Okay, so what are you doing?
I want to investigate the turn to the left, but not go down the left corridor yet.
Okay. Are you gonna like roll something along it? Or are you going to just look for something? What are you gonna do?
Firstly, I'm going to look. If I cannot see anything suspicious, then I will... Actually, if I cannot see anything visually, I will use the Slaver's Whip and cast it down the corridor and see if there is any reaction.
Okay. You can't see anything with that roll, so roll to whip. Okay. As you whip. Yep, as you whip, a huge blade swings way across. Slices through the edge of your whip.
Does it like slash through the middle of the room? Like, would it be higher than 13 if she walked along?
It slashes about somewhere between what would be normal person waist height, so it would probably be your neck height.
So
And
like
we're
she
not-
could go on her hands and knees.
You could go on your hands and knees if you want.
I mean, we could crawl through, but like, that doesn't look like the way we're supposed to go. Because the wizard said specifically, left, right, left, then left, right, left. And according to this, we will be slashed to bits because we're taking the wrong path. So what are we doing? Are we going the way the gnolls went? Because they seem to get through that corridor safely.
They did. Could we have miscounted? I don't think
No.
we did.
No, I've been noting it down. Left, right, left, left, right, left. And there should have been a left too.
Yes, it should.
I say we go down the way the gnolls went.
Is there any light coming from that direction?
There's slightly more light coming from the way that you're looking at now with the blade.
I see.
I mean, I suppose if we all crawled on our bellies, we would get through this.
We could, yeah, if we did a leopard crawl, then it would be alright.
So, do we stick with the wizard's instructions, or do we go the way the gnolls went?
We don't know what else could be the way the gnolls went. For all we know, they could have been getting gold to give to a dragon that would then kill us. Or some other greedy creature.
I mean, they had like a supply of like minotaur heads, so I'm assuming there's more than 3 gnolls around here.
I would imagine so.
Okay, so
I think we go
let's-
left.
Okay, we crawl through the left path.
Leopard
can-
crawl it is.
Can everyone do me a dodge roll to not be hit with the blade?
Does 13 get advantage because she's small?
Maybe slightly. Yep.
Do I
everyone's-
need to roll for stool?
No. Still going to run through at head height and he won't get hit by it.
Excellent.
Okay, so all of you managed to miss the blade.
Isn't it the other way around? The blade is missing us.
Equally.
Perspective.
You come to the end, and again there's a passage to the left, passage to the right, and there's nothing written here at all in chalk or anything.
If we stand up at the end of the hallway, are we in danger of like getting struck by the blade as it passes through?
It's a long enough corridor that you won't get hit by it.
Okay. I would like to roll onto my back and do a quick dungeoneering look around before I get up.
Okay.
I'd like to roll demonology to see if we're getting closer to any demonic entity. Then I still have
Nothing
to roll
demonic
really
nearby. In the dungeoneering, all you see is the spinning blade trap in this room.
Okay, so we took a left. Now we're supposed to take a right.
Yes.
But since we know now that traps still exist, 13, could you do the honors and try and see if there's a trigger of some sorts here? 13, stop looking at the chalk.
Licking the chalk.
I can have an attempt.
So what are you doing?
Yeah.
I will be attempting to use my dungeoneering skills and knowledge of Drow and knowledge of Drow traps to see if I can find any traps that are hidden here.
Okay.
Actually,
That's the passage to the
I
right. yeah?
can
Yes.
kind of like try and do this. Like I'm pretty quick if anything does pop up, and I have this huge stick here. So
Yes.
Okay. You look down, and as you lower yourself nearer the ground, you notice a very large pressure plate taking up most of the left to right and most of the corridor.
So there's no way we can avoid touching it? Like, would we have to jump over it?
You can't really see, because this side of it seems to have lost a lot of the dust that was covering it, but you can't see where it ends.
Rasthikos, would you mind lending me your newly acquired helmet?
I'll give you back the whole skull. I've not yet used it as a helmet.
I don't know why you're not wearing it.
I mean, I'm not wearing my stone breastplate either when we're walking around.
Fair enough.
It's uncomfortable wearing heavy armor when it's not fitted for you.
That's true. I ask everyone to kind of like be ready to dodge, and I sort of like gently place the skull on the pressure plate.
Okay, let's see what happens. As you place the skull on the pressure plate, the wall to the right slams shut to the wall to the left, crushing it.
Like, there's no chance we can run through that.
As it wheels back, you notice that it seems to have lasted the entire length of the corridor.
Does it wheel back slowly enough that if we ran through, we'd make it?
You can try if you want.
Which way are we going again now?
This was the right direction that you chose.
Yeah, so on the left-hand side, is there a pressure plate as well?
You can look for one on the left if you want.
I will
Yes.
like kind of judge the distance that was used, like where the plate was on the right-hand side, and then kind of place the skull in the sort of same place.
The skull is kind of dust now.
Oh, it's gone.
Yeah.
I look at Rasthikos and I'm like, I'm sorry. I lost the helmet that you weren't going
13's gonna like put her hand up and wave a bit. Like, he's not gonna use the same trap in corridors side by side.
to. You sure about that?
Probably.
But
The element of surprise.
what if they want you to think that? It could be a double bluff.
Nah, you see, the point in Labyrinth isn't about being like outsmarting the folks you're putting in. It's about all the interesting ways you can kill them, because you're just throwing them in like cannon fodder. Some of them might make through, but most of them are going to die in interesting and horrible ways. So you're going to have as many traps as possible if you're a good Labyrinth builder.
So you're trying to test out all your merchandise, I guess.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
So your best bet is usually to find some sort of rock and just chuck it down and see what happens.
Can you check the left-hand side path for a trap?
Sure. And she's going to take out one of her Drow arrows and just throw it down the corridor that they've not explored yet.
Alright, roll. The arrow bounces, and first time it bounces, you notice that it seems to be on top of what looks like a trapdoor. And as the arrow flies through the air and then lands again, it falls straight through the ground and seems to land with a thud must be at least 5 meters down.
See, that one has moving floor.
How do you think we can get past that? Like, do we have to lock the doors or something? The trap doors?
Well, I would go along the wall.
Makes sense. I get up, like, sidle up to one side of the wall and kind of start moving.
13 watches him with a very polite interest.
I still have my stick out, so I'm going to tap where I think the trapdoor. See if it
Okay, so you get about a meter along and you tap the trapdoor. As you sort of clear the sand off it, it's obviously a trapdoor. And as you keep moving along and look where the arrow fell through, it's a very well disguised hole that seems to be the same size as the trapdoor that's directly behind the trapdoor. As you look into the hole to see what there is, you see the arrow has landed on some what looks like very, let's say, rusted looking spikes below.
I get it. So people jump to avoid the trapdoor and land in the spikes. Can I safely make it across, or do I have to like kind of? I get to the other side and like thumbs up, like follow the same path.
13 gives like 2 thumbs up as best she can.
It's not her thumb that she's missing, right? I hope.
No, it's her. It's either first or last finger. I can't remember which one it is.
It's her pinky,
Last.
but
Yeah, that's it.
her whole hand is like bandaged up by this point probably.
So are you all following him over?
Before I follow over, I would like to listen at the trapdoor to see if I can hear anything inside.
Okay. Roll.
Would that be awareness?
Awareness, yeah. You listen at the trapdoor, then you tap the trapdoor, then you sort of look at the edge of the trapdoor and you try and put your fingers under it to see if you can lift it, and you lift it. The trapdoor is just a piece of wood lying on the floor.
Slide it over the hole. No.
No,
Yeah.
it's exactly as I said. People jump over it to avoid it and land the spikes.
Yes, it is very clever.
Not what I
Would
would have
it
thought.
cover the spike pit?
Just too small, literally, but maybe like millimeters either side.
Fair. I will prop it up at the side.
Could we not just shove it down the hole as far as we could?
Yes, we can do that.
Just to be safe.
Yes, so I will pick up the wood and place it on top of the... Wait. Have any of us previously come across where a spike trap could trigger something else happening?
Like what?
Like,
Spike.
almost like there's a pressure plate under it. And if the pressure changes...
I mean, you have lifted the door already. If anything
I
had
meant
to happen.
under the spikes rather than under the door.
Oh.
Trap that would activate when someone had already been injured by another trap.
Yes,
I mean, unlikely, but there is a safe way to get. We could
true.
Just,
I will leave the trapdoor propped against the wall and safely follow the path Ishidoro found.
How deep is the spike hole?
It's about 5 meters down.
5 meters. My spear is not that long, so I will not stab.
5 meters is a very deep pit.
Yeah.
I just remembered I have a bow and arrow with some Drow arrows. Just shoot things from afar. Try and trigger it. If you could spot like an oddity on the wall or a pressure plate, you just shoot it from far away and see what happens. I'm more worried about the kneecap. I like my knees.
So you're all making your way across then?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, we shall all have gone past the spike pit.
Okay. Again, there's a
No.
passage to the left, passage to the right. You look.
So we went right to get to here.
You went left.
Yes.
We went left.
The right direction had the slamming wall trap.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
So then,
then
another left.
yes.
Are you going left or are you testing left?
Testing.
Okay.
I'll test with my 2 meter long spear that should reach twice as long as the 1 meter shock stick.
Okay. So are you just going to poke the ground or?
Do sort of put the non-spear tip end on the ground and do sweeping motions further and further out until I reach the 2 meters, and if
Okay.
nothing's happened until then, I'll start moving forward, still sweeping.
Okay. As you do this, eventually you hear a click, and the ground beneath
Get down.
where your spear is flies open, and you see a furnace beneath you.
Oh.
Beneath where I tap the spear.
Yep.
Okay, because it would be weird if there was a trap activation would happen and then 2 meters behind that be the third.
I mean, that would be the perfect trap.
Anyway, I yank the spear back, and again, hopefully it hasn't been burnt too much.
It's been cindered a little bit, but not enough to catch fire or anything.
How do you
Right,
think we
now
get
I'm-
across?
You can probably edge round this one as well if you wanted.
Yeah.
Can I examine the pressure plate that Rasthikos tapped, or the switch?
It's currently still open and burning, but yeah, you can open it when it shuts, which will probably be in a couple of minutes.
Okay, so like if we wait a few minutes, it shuts.
You wait a couple of minutes and then there's a sort of whirring sound and the door begins to like shut again, and then there's a click and it seems to have shut.
Okay. I look at 13 and I go, hey, you're good with like machines and traps, right? You could probably figure out how this works and, break it so that the door stays shut. Could you do that?
13 is perplexed by this.
So I don't have any tinkering, but I will try and, from a safe distance, I suppose, knowing where the door is now, try and either disable the pressure plate or try and lift it up and see if I can wedge something into it so it doesn't press down. Like I'd
The more you examine it, the more it looks like a very delicate pressure plate.
like
I mean, it
knowing
triggered
that
from
it's there.
Rasthikos running his spear across it, which is not usually enough weight to trigger these things.
Yeah. So is there a way I can break it?
Considering it's used to dealing with like immense heat from the furnace, probably not.
Okay.
Hmm.
And
Let's
it's
smash
only
it.
like it's only one area that like is the pressure plate, or is it along the whole thing? Like, is it we step on a
From when
specific
it sort of
spot?
fell through the ground, you noticed that it's about maybe about meter square pressure plate. It seems half
Okay,
a meter
so we
each
can-
door.
So we can avoid it. Like we can kind of like go around
You
it
can
and
skirt
not
around
press.
it, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then we'll like kind of probably like borrow some chalk from 13 and mark it out, like just on the corners, like a
Okay.
danger box, and then kind of give it a whiteboard.
Okay. So you making your way across?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay.
Therese is going to grab Stool and make sure that the were-rat is following exactly.
Okay. You get across and you recognize on your left, as soon as you walk through this way, the large blood arrow pointing right.
Oh, I've become full circle.
Hmm.
Is this the same blood arrow that like 13 licked?
No, it's the massive one that was after the 113 licked.
Oh,
Oh.
Where
the
you were
decapitation.
where you were picking up all the null stuff.
Is 13 string there?
Yes.
Okay.
13's going to go right again and just keep following the string.
Just remember to watch the traps.
Yeah.
Okay. You go right and then left, and then you see the remnants of the null table.
I was going to say
mean, like,
13 would follow her string up to like the first junction, like after the arrow that pointed right,
Mm-hmm.
and then she would then walk the opposite direction of the string and like be wheeling it out the other way, if that makes sense.
Okay, so is that the one after the table?
Yeah, I think.
Okay.
Because they followed the knolls up, didn't they?
You
Yeah,
followed
yeah.
the nulls to the left straight away.
And then we stopped following the knolls after
You
the second
followed
one,
the
right?
nulls to the left,
Yeah.
then turned left. Do you want to
Yeah,
turn
but
right
they
instead of
turned
following
right.
the nulls at all? Or
Yeah.
do you want to follow
Yeah.
left then right?
13's going to go where the knolls went.
Okay.
Yes,
You
I'll
go-
Sure.
follow first.
You go left after the table, then right, and then you come to the end, and again, when you look left, you see that the labyrinth seems to end, and instead of it being the usual stone thing, it seems like a cave with this like massive, like ramshackle, like shantytown kind of thing. And there seems to be about 30 odd huts made from, simple stuff like pelts and stones and sticks, and there's lots of gnolls wandering around. There's lots of like other sort of people walking around, like dwarves and goblins and everything, and everyone seems to be, let's just go in a little world of their own.
Is there a stylistic choice of sort of Minotaur-esque?
Yes.
Is it like,
Everything's very much
cowhide?
decorated with
Yeah.
Minotaur stuff, and
I wonder what this economy is based on.
there's one massive building in the middle which looks to be some kind of tavern.
13's going to head there.
I guess
Still
it's time for
panning out her string.
What are the structures built of?
They seem to be made of
Minotaur bone.
mostly a minotaur bone and some sort of makeshift wood, kind of like driftwood would look like.
So,
Where do they get wood in this labyrinth?
I mean, the trap door was made out of wood. So, maybe they dismantled some traps for it. The theory is,
Ecosystem of labyrinth civilizations.
well, I think they all came in here and they don't know how to get out, so they've just settled here.
I'm very suspicious of them all being away in a wee world of their own.
I want to
yeah,
know where the Minotaurs come from.
I'm very thrilled by the idea of these people like forming a business opportunity at the first chance they've seen.
Very resourceful.
Dude, very resourceful, but like they took gold from us. Does this mean this is a gold run economy? Or they just like the metals?
I would like to do some sort of intelligence check to see if I have come across anything or know of anything in the Underdark that would have this sort of intoxication effect on so many different races and is likely to survive, possibly more in the cave setting than in the labyrinth itself.
Okay, roll. Natural
Moving after
20.
30.
It's very much
Hey.
a mushroom-laced society.
Okay.
Everyone seems to
it
be
the-
pretty out of it on mushrooms.
Is it the Tumask mushrooms?
Yes.
I see. I think we possibly don't want to use up all the mushrooms on finding demons. Has people from the settlement seen us?
Yep. They sort of look over at you and then sort of shrug and go back to around their business. They don't seem to care.
I asked Gazram to go talk to one of the dwarves and see if he gets a response.
He walks up and goes, "Hello, brother. How you doing?" And the dwarf sort of looks at him blankly and goes, "Oh, a talking bunny. There's a pretty bunny." And he grabs him on the head really, violently. "That's a pretty bunny." And he carries on staggering his way off.
Does he remind us of someone, especially of the punching the head off a dwarf, right? Because that person was in another world of his own as well, with beady little eyes and certain features.
He's not a dead,
Do they
that's
look
what
like
you're
that?
asking, but he does seem to be
No,
hallucinating.
I'm asking about the condition that he's in.
Alright,
That guy was high on something.
He's definitely tiny pupils, high as fuck.
Okay. So this sounds very familiar. This looks very familiar, the condition that he's in.
So as you sort of walk into this sort of settlement, you hear a commotion coming from the main sort of tavern itself. Are you going to go in?
Yeah, has 13 already reached there? Is she the cause of it?
Maybe.
I will
You
follow.
walk in and you see the two gnolls that you gave gold to eating the biggest pile of food you've ever seen.
13 gives him a thumbs up.
Yep, it looks like literally a stack about maybe 6 inches high of just meat.
13 wants some meat. Who does she go and ask for? Just for some.
The barman, weirdly, is human. And he notices...
I want meat.
He sort of looks at you quite strangely and he goes, "Right, are you here to buy mushrooms?"
No, meat.
"Meat, oh, right. And he sort of looks behind the bar and he goes, got steak, or got offal, or what do you want?"
She takes out 2 gold coins and puts them down. All of it.
Special customer, right, no problem.
Yeah.
A couple of seconds later, Little 13 gets this plate of about 3-4 inches high. It's varying, but obviously different body parts. There's even an eyeball in there somewhere.
What is the plate made of?
Is it cooked?
It's all cooked, yeah. The plate seems to be made of some kind of clay.
Does it look like a minotaur cut?
It just looks like generic meat.
Generic.
Hey.
13's gonna share this with her friends.
I will eat some.
Non-stone material.
Beer!
This is-
Can we have beer?
This is the most advanced society we have found so far.
Let's find a
Ruffles
table.
round behind the thing and goes, "I don't have beer, but I've got mushroom wine."
Beer!
Will the mushroom wine have the same effect as the mushrooms have on people?
You know, the people out there.
You've tried it before. Yes, it does. Gets to the brain a lot
I
faster
see.
too.
Oh,
I'll pass. I think I'll just go sit on the corner here with my friends and eat some meat. And we'll find a table for ourselves.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna skip the wine as well.
So will Rasthikos. He will be
Yeah.
enamored by this incredibly advanced Underdark society that he has now found himself within.
Any more of you want meat?
yes, please.
Yes, please.
What
Okay.
type of meat?
It just gives you, it's literally just plates of generic meat.
He's not willing to tell me.
He goes, "Oh, don't you worry about that. Lord Unugu, make sure we get good cuts."
Lord who?
Unugu.
Yanugu.
That's the boy.
Does that name ring a bell?
Yep.
It does for me, Tauno, who knows D&D lore, but would Rasthikos recognize that name?
Unless he's experience of Null culture, probably not.
May I roll demonology?
As someone who grew up in the Underdark, could I roll to see if I know of it?
You can roll, yes?
Would it be a religion check?
Yeah.
Or-
kinda. Religion, probably.
What would I have to roll? Can I roll demonology to know if I have this name before?
Yeah, you can roll demonology. Natural 20.
Ishidoro.
Yeah, basically you've heard of Inigo in passing. It's a very much a sort of demon null of fabled legend.
And I know that gnolls worship.
Gnolls are very much like, he is the sort of one that looks after them.
Okay.
Any connection between him and the meat?
Oh, don't worry about that. Just you eat up, you age your strength. And then we can talk about how many mushrooms you want to buy.
How did you get down here? Strange to see another human down here.
Oh, I was rescued by Lord Anugu.
Oh, so Lord Inugu himself personally rescued you?
Oh yeah, them bastard minotaurs almost got me.
Oh, and
How did you get close to minotaurs?
Oh, it's a labyrinth, they sort of live here, but, scum. They need to be purged, killed.
right. And Lord Inugu saved all these people who are here?
Oh no, most of them just come down for trade, you see. They bring their fortune and then spend their nights getting high on mushrooms. It's a service we offer.
I see. How did they get through the labyrinth so quick? Like, because you tell them how to?
Oh no, it's only the ones that get here that can buy mushrooms.
I see.
It means our repeat customers are from actual trusted customers. Anyone else just dies.
Makes complete sense.
That is
I mean-
true.
So Lord Inugu lives around here? Or
Oh no,
just-
no. He wanders the labyrinth.
Aha. Does he have, by any chance, a very sharp sword?
Oh no, he's got lots of little daggers.
Have you guys tried to go further into the labyrinth? Maybe
Oh,
get to
no.
the other side?
The minotaurs are there. We don't fuss with them. We kill them. Pfft, scum.
And I kind of lean in close to him and kind of whisper, it's like, is that what you're cooking up?
Well, we can't have it going to waste, can we?
Thought so. Very, very sustainable.
Yeah.
Once Ishidoro's done whispering, Rasthikos will ask, so how sapient are the Minotaurs? Are they beasts or are they capable of organizing?
Scum.
That
They
doesn't
think
really
they own
tell
the
me
place.
much.
They come here with their chests out and their fucking horns. They kill
I
'em.
lean over to Rasthikos and I say, I don't think they particularly care about
We
the
kill 'em.
intelligence level.
We cook them.
No.
We eat them.
I cover my horns.
Rasthikos will just sort of slowly turn his head to look at 13, who I think at this point has finished her plate of meat.
Oh yeah, she's like licking the plate clean, like nom, 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 nom.
It won't do her any harm, I'm sure.
Belches really loudly.
On the bright side, we lost the helmet, so
Concerns are not really medical but ethical.
Well,
What's ethical?
yeah,
I don't think when
Precisely.
you're older.
I think they don't
I-
understand what ethical is. I mean,
Therese will buy a small amount of meat for the were-rat.
Okay.
I'll eat. I have no qualm. Like, it's a good meal. I've been eating mushrooms and lichen all this time. So
Yeah, a lot of meat in
This
a
is
minotaur.
true.
It's a waste. Scum.
This is not a bridge Rasthikos is willing to burn just yet.
13, is there forks? Because she'd
Yeah,
try
yeah.
feeding them. She'd like try and airplane it in. Like, then open up for the little dragon! Wah!
Rasthikos
Oh
will
my
just
god.
how much bet on 13's head. Keep her away. The size difference.
Still trying it. Like, go on, no, he knows.
I think he's turning vegetarian. He likes lichen.
As much as we've done down here, I'm not quite ready for cannibalism.
I mean, you're
Not
not
cannibalism, you're not a minotaur.
Yeah, I mean,
You
it's
think they would eat a
cannibalism.
goblin? Or a
It's
person?
cannibalism adjacent. Like, it's not actual cannibalism. It's adjacent.
Therese is
I
very
feel weird
conflicted.
about it as well.
Yeah. Therese is
I'm-
very conflicted by all of this. Would a drow consider a minotaur sentient enough for it to be cannibalism?
Oh, we sell drow lots of meat. They love it. Big delicacy
Oh,
in
which-
Branson.
I see.
Yeah, big
That
chunky
is
steaks,
very
you know.
good to
They
know.
love it. They think it's from some exotic place.
Hold on a second. You said you sell it to Mensa Baranson?
Oh, yeah.
And do
How do you get there? I mean, how do
we
people...
we have a trader that comes by. He gives us weapons
and-
to kill the minotaurs.
Okay.
We give him steaks.
and what does this trader look like?
Well, he's just sort of the one that brings the wagon, really.
Is his name Seraglio?
Oh, no, Seraglio's a lovely gentleman.
Ah, you know him.
No, only through, word of mouth.
Is he due soon, this traitor?
Oh, no, we sent him away yesterday. Huge piles of stakes he took. Got a lot of weapons to kill the Minotaur. Got a couple of crossbows. Lovely.
I see. What do you know of Seraglio?
Oh, just that he runs the Pleasure Palace. Gotta have me in the Pleasure Palace.
And what else do they have in a pleasure palace?
Well,
Another type of meat than this.
I'm going to blush.
well, it's whatever the sort of ladies and gentlemen are after, really, innit?
I'm
Minotaur
sure it is.
steaks.
I mean,
mushrooms.
whatever youth call pleasure, they can offer, really. That's why they're like lots of nice, tasty meat.
So,
The Drow can consider anything pleasure. Have you heard of Mizrim? Ilvara Mizrim.
No? She a trader?
I see. Yes, she was a trader.
Oh, no. Not one we deal with. Although,
Fair enough.
if you're in the market for it...
And he sort of puts his hand behind the desk and he brings out a small box. He sits in front of you and says,
Yeah, have a look in there.
I
I
will
will.
have a look in it. Rather
Yes.
than trees.
I will look over Ishi's shoulder.
You open the small box. Inside is what looks like a almost immaculate glass feather, but maybe 4 inches long.
Yeah,
Oh.
a mad dwarf
Wait.
brought that for us. It emanates cold, and the Drow love it when we can get some. Quite a lot of gold goes in, because, it never gets warm, keeps drinks nice and frosty. Would you be interested in one of those?
How
Is
much
that an angel feather?
Well, the mad dwarf called it an angel feather, but what's an angel?
Well, true, but yes, they are
How many do you
very
have?
interesting.
Oh, I only have the one, but if you are interested, it's somewhere in the Labyrinth, and, well, if you were to bring a couple more back for me, I'd make a lot of money. Be quite happy to split some money with you for them.
Do you know where in the labyrinth? Or is it just somewhere deeper in?
Some mad dwarf bastard came by with it, said he chipped it off the angel himself, then he killed himself. Shame, really,
Sorry.
but he did feed a couple of people.
How did this mad dwarf kill himself?
Oh, I don't know, he sort of was blithering something about something, then jumped on a table, told everyone he'd seen the angel, then he fell and broke his neck.
Right.
Unfortunate.
Yeah, but it's the easiest way to go, keeps the blood inside for black pudding.
I'm sorry, what's your name? I have that.
I haven't used it for a long time, son.
Are we the only customers in here?
Well, nobody ever asks names. Gnolls don't care.
Yeah,
They just know me
I'm
as
Ishidoro.
that thing. And they
I'm
sort
Ishidoro, and I put my hand up to shake his.
He sort of looks at your hand as if you're trying to offer him something and he doesn't see anything in it and he goes,
what's
You
the deal?
shake. You remember how to shake, right?
Yeah, when we do a deal, what's the deal?
This is me and giving you my name, and you give me yours. It's a
Oh,
deal.
I see. Well, what do I get from it?
You get my name.
But you've already told me that.
Well, I paid you, didn't I?
Did
I
you?
nudged Ishidoro. I don't think he's going to understand.
Well, he's a businessman. I think he'll understand.
But why do you want to know my name? I mean,
Well-
names have power and all that.
Now, do you believe that I'm some kind of magician who will take control of your name? And by that, will
I wasn't
you-
thinking it, but now you've said it, I must.
I pull my hand back and I say, we might be interested in doing business for you. Is there a place we can stay here?
Well, there's some rooms, I suppose. Call them that.
and he gestures to a couple of sort of very ramshackle looking huts outside that all seem to be empty with a minotaur hide on the floor.
And he goes, you can rest there if you want. There should be a new delivery of Minotaur any hour.
Fair enough. We'll talk to you later. And I kind of usher everyone to the table because we talk about this.
Alright, well,
Or
if you do
13 gets
find any
ushered.
more feathers, well, bring them to me. I'll make sure you get a fair price in meat.
Yes, more meat, more meat. I sit down with everybody and I say, okay, the Drow trader knows how to get from Menzoberran to here.
Yes.
We need to wait for them. Like, we might need to spend a few days here. I mean, we're not short on time or anything. And my theory is that when he comes by, we convince him to take us along.
Is that really the best idea?
Are you guys going to be okay not eating meat? Because it seems like the only thing on the menu here. I mean, apart from mushrooms.
But Minotaur
I
are people too.
I think that for Therese it's going to depend on how long we're waiting.
Well, he said he just sent him away. And I think he comes by every week. I don't know, we might have to ask him again. There is also the thing of who he's working. If he comes by and we find any sign on him, then that helps us.
I would feel happier
Isn't the
if we
portal
could.
our priority though?
It is.
mean,
We'd be looking for this angel.
Well, we have parts, at least, of the ingredients for the portal.
All we need
still
is
need-
like
We need another 5 angel feathers.
and a worm egg.
Oh, did you buy that one?
Yes, but that's not in the labyrinth.
We didn't buy it, but we will take it up. Like,
We will.
We're RPG players. Once we see an item, yes,
Right.
it's ours.
It's assumed yes,
own it.
it's ours.
Was he
Like,
offering to sell it? Or was he offering to split the profits if we brought him back more?
He
Both,
was,
I think.
He was kind of offering both, yeah.
Yeah, and he was saying if we bring him back more, then he will pay us for it.
13's gonna go up to the guy and like tug on his sleeve till he pays attention. And
Yeah, what you want? No
ask
more
him.
meat? What tasty
No,
animal?
no. See when the next Minotaur comes in. Can I have the hooves?
Oh, we need those, I'm afraid. Boil them down, make things to hold the thing together.
Glue!
Oh,
That's
glue.
what I wanted to do. Can I buy some glue?
Well, if you've got any left, sure. What do you need
If
it
not,
for?
can I buy some hooves? Well, it's always good to have glue, isn't it? It's like you always have a ball of string, always have a jar of glue.
Well, I can maybe sell you one. It depends how many Minotaurs Lord Inigo was killed.
Okay, I guess we'll find out in the morning when he comes back with Minotaurs, right?
Well, he doesn't come back with the cart, you see. Usually it's a couple of gnolls come back with it. They sort of clean up the battlefield, as it were.
Oh.
Do you know which gnolls came in with the last cart?
Oh, no, not off the top of my head. I think it was Ginger. And the other one I can't remember, but they were left earlier this morning.
I see.
Yeah, they always need to find where Inigo is. Problem is, he's been having constant battles with that fucking scum.
So there's been a lot of problems with Minotaurs recently.
No, not Minotaurs. That bloody Baphomet.
Oh, demons. Are the demons getting worse?
No, the Minotaurs got their own demon because it's, in fashion now. But he's a prideful bastard. He won't back down and he won't leave Inigo alone. He can have battles lasting
Right.
days, weeks even.
So everyone has their own demons, you say?
Well, Baphomet's a
know
Minotaur,
who is
yeah.
your
Gigantic
demon, I assume?
black thing, long, thick fur. Those really big, sharpened blade, like a windmill.
Oh, so we saw a gnoll body on the way here, and something had sliced through his bones like it was butter.
Yeah, that'll be
Would
Baphomet.
that be Baphomet?
So, how do you know all these things about what's happening out in the labyrinth? Have you
Oh,
seen
no,
it?
tell me.
So you can speak to them.
Well, as much as you can speak to anyone, really, but going, yip, yip, yip.
Like, when they communicated with us, I mean, they said...
Yeah,
that
they
was
use a sort of
shop.
pantomime.
Yeah, but like, you can talk to them.
Well, they gesture to me and I can kind of guess it. They're used to me talking now. They used to as many mushroom traders come down here. They know what you're saying, they just can't speak it back.
Okay, so we can speak to them, but they mime it back.
Aye.
Okay. How long ago did the Drow come? Like, how often does he?
Oh, about every month.
Oh, so it'd be a month before he comes back then?
Yeah, so after the amount of meat I sold him, probably will be about a month. Plus we've just got all those shiny shinies to stab the Minotaur with. Lovely.
when the Drow brings you weapons, how good quality are those weapons?
Yeah, because we
enough.
have a Drow here who knows a lot about weapons.
Oh,
She could take a look
well,
at the
they're out with the boys outside.
Thank you. I step out of the tavern and pull my hood down, and it will probably be quite obvious that I am Drow. Can I see the boys with the weapons?
You can see a couple of armor gnolls, yeah, that look like they've got
I will go with her.
relatively well-made Drow weapons.
I go over and have a look. Are these weapons made of adamantine?
Yes.
I turn to Ishidoro. These are expensive weapons. That metal is expensive.
Can you see any symbols on them?
What sort of roll would that be?
Awareness.
Like, is it the dragon or the scorpion, something we've seen before?
Shouldn't be a scorpion.
One or two of them you notice at the hilt, it's got the sort of spider motif that you're used to with Drow. The Gnoll are quite confused while you're looking at their weapons.
I smile and I do the thumbs up. And I say, we like killing minotaurs too.
One of them hugs you.
That's very cute.
I say, next time you're going to go kill minotaurs, we'll come and support you.
One of them sort of makes a sort of like, we're going now gesture and grabs you and start trying to drag you down the other side of the labyrinth.
I point to their weapons and I say, can I have one? Like, can I have a good one, like a sword?
The Gnoll looks at one of the other Gnolls, shrugs, and then hands you a very small dagger, and then continues to grab you and pulls you out.
I look at Treese and I'm like, well, I guess this is it. I just like
I call out to the rest of the party.
shrugging my shoulders.
It's like, we need to head out.
I've been drafted.
Okay. So is everyone else following?
I don't think we can stop.
Follow very
listening.
quickly. I don't like the idea of eating minotaur. It's just not
Okay.
good.
13 tries to like take a snack with her.
I'll have a minotaur to go, please.
You
Minotaur.
desperately try and follow the direction Ishidoro goes, and after about 5 minutes of literally zigzagging like lefts, rights, and you've kind of confused how far you've came, eventually you hear a roar, like a ungodly roar. What do you do?
Can I roll terminology?
Yep, there is definitely demon nearby.
Great.
Okay.
I stow the dagger and I pull out my bow and arrow and I hang back.
Okay. The two gnolls that you're with sort of look around the corner a little bit and look back at you and do a sort of like eye and an arrow as if they're trying to say that he's round the corner, and you hear the sound of very vicious combat.
I will sneak up next to the gnolls and try and take a look to see what's happening.
Okay. You look around the corner, you see a gigantic minotaur, but maybe 14 foot high, fighting with a gnoll in like patchwork armor who looks about 11 foot high. And the minotaur's got a literally like a double-sided, double-ended spinning like blade. It is like a windmill when he's using it. And the gnoll seems to have like very small stabby daggers, and they seem to basically effectively dueling.
Do I get the sense of anybody winning this one, or is it just like a
You
stalemate?
look around both of them seem to be minotaurs and gnolls fighting.
Okay, so they're like kind of a little kind of skirmish party having a big tussle. Okay, and we're still in the labyrinth, and like they have led us all the way here safely without any traps.
Yeah.
Okay. I look back at everyone and I'm like, do we take part in this?
What does our old guide suggest?
The gnoll gives you a wink and then runs around the corner straight towards the minotaur.
Oh,
Yeah, I guess it's suicide then. Alright. I kind of like pat the other gnoll on the back and I'm like, you know, this is it, buddy.
Okay. You hear a crushing sound, and about 3 seconds later, you notice the minotaur slam the little gnoll into the wall in front of you. He turns towards the rest of you and wields his massive like blade and slams it into the ground. The ground beneath you shakes. Can everyone do me a dodge roll, please? The ground beneath you shakes and tumbles away. All of you and the Gnoll fall and land in this, what looks like cavern beneath the labyrinth. The Gnoll has been crushed by the falling rocks.
Okay.
The combat continues above you, and
Did the Minotaur follow us down, or
Nope.
is he still
the Minotaur is... You notice, as you look up, you see the Minotaur leap over the hole after Niga.
How far down now?
You're about a good 10 meters down.
Okay.
You've properly fallen a fair distance, and there's no obvious way for you to get back out.
We'll dig our way out.
We just fell down a hole.
Maybe
How do
we
we
should
pick
fall.
ourselves back up?
We dig up,
Dig upwards,
stupid.
yeah.
I guess I've like officially deserted Unified Gnoll Army now. I got drafted and I deserted.
You got a dagger at least.
I did get a dagger, and I'm assuming it's one of those fancy daggers.
It's a very fancy dagger.
Yes.
So,
End result is like up, thumbs up, 2 thumbs up.
Ah.
This just keeps getting more and more interesting.
Cold silence returns. The waters lay still, for this week at least. Join us again next week for more of our tale. This podcast is an adaptation of Out of the Abyss, a 5th edition D&D adventure. It was adapted from the original story by Nikolai Popsky. The podcast features Nikolai, Dragon, Shiraz, Freya, Susie Q, Tauno, and Wednesday LeFay. All music was written and performed by Daniel Boström. Artwork was by John Moore. And if you, dear listener, wish to acquire your own sets of finest metal or acrylic adventuring dice, then journey through the Underdark to dndice.co.uk and speak the name Penance RPG at the checkout for a 5% discount off your order. Farewell and Godspeed, for we fear the madness is closing in. Good night out there, whatever you are. Ha 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 ha.
Now I'm trying to think how to destroy a pride demon.
I'm more concerned about the fact that I have pledged my services to Lord Inigo.
Yeah.
It's okay, the Gnoll knew about it. That doesn't mean that Lord Inugu knows about it, necessarily.
I did get a hug though, so I feel solidarity.
There's some casual quasi-cannibalism.
Stopping the recording.
Look, a Minotaur would just as quickly eat you. So, fair's fair.
Eat them before they eat you.
Exactly.
We don't know that.
Yeah, we do.
It was also...
We never met a Minotaur before.
I mean, we went to new levels of dark in this episode, so
I don't know. I'm not sure
Like
we can say that we don't know anything about Minotaurs.
We chopped up a knoll, we ate some Minotaur. I think we are sufficiently down, like, Hannibal
If
Lecter
we're
territory.
gonna talk about eating other beings, gnolls are the ones with the whole cannibalism shtick.
Yeah.
True.
When in Rome, do as Romans do.
When living with a pack of hyenas,
Do as hyenas do. Eat everything.
Well, Minotaurs exist in other places as well, so we might have known something of them.
If in the future, if Ishidoro ever gets out of this campaign and goes and sees a Minotaur, I'm pretty sure the first thing he will not say is that, hey, I ate your cousin.